Welcome to Tent Talk, the podcast with Nancy McCready, where we talk about life under the big tent of God's presence and the provoking process of discipleship. Here we go.
Hey everybody, welcome to Tent Talk. This is Nancy McCready. Check out today's episode so that you can go deeper into the grace, the very ability of God for your real life. There's real grace for your real life. Check it out. Love you all. All right, happy Friday. I'm having my morning coffee, and I'm so glad to be doing daily podcast when I'm home, and I'm home now for a few days. So hopefully there won't be any archive episodes for a little while unless we run into something unexpected. So my friends, tap into the grace of God. That is not a cheap covering for you continuously sinning, living independent from Him. Sometimes you just have to get honest. Are you in the hot pursuit of sin? You're making plans for it. You're writing it in your day timer. You're putting it on your phone calendar. You plan on doing it. You're going after doing it. Okay, that's in the hot pursuit of sin. You're trolling for it. You're looking for it. You're scouting out for it. That's different than I am recognizing that I'm still living independent from Him, trying to meet my own need for love. That's why I'm out trolling. That's why I'm out scouting. That's why I'm out lusting. That's why I'm out thinking about things. And I may feel bad about the fact that I'm thinking of it, but I start to excuse it because, I'm a sinner. My friends, here's your Friday reminder. No, you're not. If you are born again, you are no longer a sinner. You are one who has been literally made new. And then you have been given, you're saved by grace through faith. That means saved by His ability. And you've placed your faith in His ability in you and what He has done to save you. Now, in that same way, tap into the grace given to you now to live as who you actually are. Paul said, I am what I am by the grace of God, but this grace that's in me is going to work harder in me than in anybody else. Here's your Friday bulletin. Grace works. Grace is not lazy. It is not passive. It is not excusing, and it does not cater towards the lower things of life. Grace ignites within you the very ability of God to live His way. You have to decide if after you have the introduction to grace that you're going to tap in and continuously, forever, as you live on this earth, forever tapping in to greater depths of His ability within you to live your real life. There is real grace for your real life. You do not get grace to live your pretend faux life. We have real grace for our real life. And if you determine today to really live, I'm not talking about leaping from mountaintop to mountaintop where there's some kind of fantasy faith. I'm talking about your real life in Him, where we seek to know Him. He's the point. He gave you grace that you might know Him. He gave you grace that you might live in deep abiding oneness with Him. And this grace works. Paul said in 1 Corinthians, he said, I have grace for my task. So you see, you're given grace for everything that God's called you to. You're given an ability to actually live it. That's why if you're looking at someone else's life and you're like, wow, I could never do what they do. Well, that's because that's not your life. You're not called to do what they do. You're called to live your life. So look at your life and say, now that life I can live. I can live the life that He's given me. Because He didn't just give me life, He then gave me grace to live that life, gave me His very ability to live that life.
For more information on Nancy, please visit nancymccready.com or follow her on social media at NBMcCready.
So when you are looking at other people's lives, And you're like, I could never do that. Well, don't worry about it, because that's not yours to do. Look at yours and say, this I can do because, Father, you have given me your very ability. Then you step into it, literally step by step. For we have grace for the tasks that He's calling us to. There is much work, my friends. The Word says that we are His workmanship, Ephesians 2:10. Read it in several translations. You're His masterpiece. You're His handiwork, His craftsmanship. And you were literally made for the good works that He prepared in advance before. Okay, so I want you to listen to me carefully. Not only did He choose you out before the foundations of the world, but He also prepared works for you before, the real you. So this word before has come back around to me as I've been teaching on grace while I was just recently in Poland, and really recognizing that there is such a need for the real understanding of real grace in these days. And to realize that we've been given His ability to be able to live and move and work and to love and to enjoy and to labor, even to endure and to suffer. And these are the things that we want to tap into the grace for, that we want to know this grace of His ability that is within us. And that cannot be taken hold of apart from coming into the knowledge of Him. Because ultimately, my friends, there's really no reason to live this way except this is His way. And I get to know Him as I go this way. And I will deepen into it as I go. And to recognize that it's an ever-increasing way of life, more and more. So, just a few early morning thoughts today on the true grace of God. So grace be unto you, the rich, deep grace of God, the butter, if you will. You know, it speaks in Isaiah 7:15 of the butter and the honey that Jesus took hold of. And butter is rich and honey is sweet. And Jesus knew the sweetest of love, which was the Father's love. It's what motivated Him. Jesus knew the riches of the grace of His Father, which was the very ability to live as He was called to. And now that's been given unto us. So, have some real butter and honey today and learn to live in the deep love of God and the rich grace of God for your real life with Him. All right? So go out into this weekend and enjoy life with Him and take hold of the grace of God. All right? I love you all. Check everything out at nancymccready.com. Also, you can join me over on theproducersway.com. So I hope that we'll be able to connect. All right? So I hope this takes you a little bit deeper with Him in your personal, private process of discipleship. Love you all.
If you'd like information on how to book Nancy McCready for an event or speaking engagement, visit nancymccready.com.